Very good day, everybody, and welcome to another video. This is your personal funky stim pilot. My name is Arkady Gidzenko. I will be your captain for today's flight. Today's flight will take us to Japan. Actually, we'll be staying in Japan. We'll fly from Tokyo Narita Airport to Nagasaki. It's about a 1 hour 47 minutes flight time. We're using the PMDG 737-800 again, with all Nippon Airlines livery. We're using real-world time and real-world weather, GSX, and the Aerosoft Simple Traffic tool. Alright, so let's just hop on in. The time we took the screenshot for the thumbnail, it was a little bit darker, so I'm guessing it might be a little bit lighter now because the sun is about to come. And then here we are. We got the jetway connected, and we have the ground power unit. This is our 737-800 by PMDG with the anal livery. I'm sorry, I cannot read it any differently. With the All Nippon Airlines livery. Maybe I should just behave a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't. Alright, so this is the aircraft, looking very beautiful. We're not actually doing a walk around, not really sure what all the things are to look for, and at the same time, I don't think, you could simulate it, I guess. But let's just fly over the wing here. And then actually maybe let's just get up these stairs here, although they are morphed into the ground a little bit. I'm not sure how this is going to work out. The doors are not open. Oh, that's a bummer. Anyway, we can do it ourselves. I believe in the Phoenix you can. Alright, let's just, you know what? There, we're already in up seats. Alright, let's get it. So remember yesterday, that whirring sound immediately went away. Not really sure what was up with that. Ground power is available. So let's turn that on. And then we'll turn on the logo lights and the anti-collision lights. Now we should have some working lights up here, dome lights. You can put them at bright. There we go. So the sun is coming up here, Japan, Narita. We have our flight plan here, so I suggest, I believe we have 185 passengers today. So let's start the boarding.
Boarding requested.
Alright, that looks a little bit better.
Do you want to board crew? Pilot's boarding starting. crew boarding starting.
Right, so what gate are we at? Let's put it on night for a little bit. Three one. Now before we do anything, I believe this is a new livery, so probably we'll have to go PMDG setup. Aircraft, don't start with equipment, this I don't really care about.
Your crew has boarded. Passengers boarding starting.
Kilograms, alright, so that's looking good. I think we got all the options now that we need. Realistic, and then there should be the IRS should also be realistic. There you go. Cool. Right, that means we can carry on to request our route. Now to just double check these figures and our OFT. So we have cost index 65, wind 245.026, cruising 220. Planned fuel, we got block fuel 8.9, could maybe round it up 9.0 and then 2.8 on the final reserves. So they did 2.8, 8.9, I'm okay with this, so let's set payload and set the fuel. We got a beautiful sunrise here in Tokyo. Okay, let's load our route. And activate the execute. Alright, so departure and arrival, let's have a look there. Departing runway 16 right with the Tetra 8 departures. 16 right, so let's check the weather. 1705 knots, that seems okay. So 16 right, Tetra 8. Tetra 8. And do we have any transitions? ENPAR? There you go, ENPAR. Alright, and then for the arrival. That will be runway 14 with the SARUKU, or what is that, a direct? Or is that a star? Anyway, it will be runway 14. Let's check the web. No meter data available. Okay.
This way, please.
This is showing us something.
May I see your boarding pass, please?
Alright. So runway 14. I have no clue whatsoever what the VDM is. Let's try the RNAV 14. SARUKU.
May I see your boarding pass, please?
And execute.
Welcome on board.
So 140 at 4 knots. Fuel cloud 1,000 feet. Scatter 2,000 feet, broken 3,500. This is not very nice conditions. But this weather report was 8 hours 14 minutes ago. Okay. There's one 3 hours and 9 minutes ago. 120. And there's no 8s.
Arrow. Good night, O.
We'll see how that's going to go down. There's no discontinuities, maybe here only at the end. We'll fix that later. Alright, so that's looking good. Actually, we have 9 here on the planned fuel, and then I believe we're 2.9, 2.8 final reserves. And the cost index was 65.
Good night, O.
And cruising 220.
This way, please.
And the wind was, I forgot, 245 at 026.
Good night, O.
Transition altitude 14,000 for Japan. That's on the chart here as well. So execute.
May I see your boarding pass? Good night, O. Arrow. May I see your boarding pass? Arrow.
So take off the rating 50 degrees. That should give us 93.5. Flaps 5, acceleration 1500, trim 4.84. E1 144, 146, 150. So TO at 50. Can think of 94.3. It's quite a difference. We got 4.83. And the runway length remaining 131. At least that's the number that we'll answer. It is 13,143, but we only answer 131, and the rest will be 2 zeros. So 131. No descent path after OHGIE. Well, we'll have a look at that later. Sun's getting a little bit more enthusiastic. That pretty much concludes the setup here of the FMC. Let's check in on the boarding process. I believe we're at 185 passengers, 180, so we're only at 55. So that's taking its time. So the cruising, let's have a look. Flight plan, so we should have flight level 220. Just to double check that there's no planned step climbs or anything. It didn't look like it, but I do like to double check here for a second. 220.
This way, please.
That's 220 all the way through.
May I see your boarding pass?
Let's turn on the APU.
Welcome on board.
The yaw damper can come on. We should have our fuel then, 9.0. We also have center fuel tanks today, 1.15. Let's turn on the seatbelt sign. Emergency exit lights. They are armed. Our window heats. Let's check what the APU exhaust gas temperature is doing. Dropping. We'll also need. Let's turn on the fuel pumps. We'll also need the sensor ones today. Let's APU is at 400. Turn on the APU bleed for the air conditioning. The airport elevation where we are now, Narita. 135. That's 16 left. 158. So let's put 160. That should be fine. Or 150. It would be actually because it rounds up at 50. All right. We can turn on the flight vectors on both sides. VNAV, LNAV, they are both armed. So our departure. I got the Tetra 8 departure. Out of runway 16 right in our case. Aspen, it's a right turn, and then basically taking you up north. And then in our case, probably ENPAR, I believe that was ours, so we'll take a left turn there.
Welcome on board.
So runway heading 158. So we cannot really see the passengers, except there's this little tiny opening there with the operator standing. You can see a passenger walk by every now and then. Right, let's see what GSX is doing with the boarding 89. So the trim was 4.83. So a little under 5. Then we can set up the comm channel or the comm panel for both pilots, and then give ourselves a little squawk.
May I see your boarding pass?
So we'll have flaps 5 for takeoff.
Good night out.
So altimeter 2991. There you go.
Hello. Welcome on board.
Right, so we are still on the external power though. The APU is running. So maybe we should just disconnect the ground power units. And let's turn on the APU generators then, so this doesn't happen. Ground operations and ground power release.
Hello.
Now for the taxi briefing. Looks like we're very close to our runway, so that's pretty sweet. So we push back, nose to the left. And these charts give me a headache, man. I'm guessing exit here via Whiskey 7. So push back nose to the left, Whiskey 7 onto Whiskey. Something like that, but we'll see it when we start pushing back. I'm really liking this sunrise today. Let's see if we can get rid of the aft air stairs. I'm not sure with GSX installed. Let's go door management. Close entry to left. We got our little landing lights here. That's 60 more passengers to go. See if the weather at our destination is doing anything. That was sort of static. Arrival, no sorry, Bob. Well, you know what, RJFU? Well, you know, FU, RJ. That's what I'm saying. So this weather report we're looking at here, I believe, is like a couple of hours old. And we could see here as well, if you go to airports, we go to Nagasaki airport, open that, go weather. You can see this weather report here is 8 hours 30 minutes old. Wind was 140, so that would make sense for our arrival runway. This weather report is 3 hours 25 minutes ago. There it was wind coming from 120. And then there's no H's anywhere. So we don't really have any reliable weather information. Now, let's see if we can... Weather source. Can we do weather source real world? We are flying real world weather anyway. Let's do safe preference here for a bit. Not enough meter information found. Oh, come on, man. We do have the real world weather there for our departure. I don't know what's going on in Nagasaki today. But it is how it is. We'll get there. Turn on the yaw damper. Let's leave this on until after pushback. Now, do we have a... do I have a temperature? Outside air temperature 25.
May I see your boarding pass?
Just make it a little bit cooler in the cabin. And the flight deck as well.
Arrow. This way, please.
So we are departure. Aspen, and then we got Alpha 6 Romeo 11, and so on. And that will take us to
Good night.
we have Aspen here, and then it was, what was the other sucker called? ENPAR. And that will be the end of our departure route. Now the arrival. So we got OHGIE. It says 11,000 or above. So let's make that 11,000. Actually, let's have a look at the chart first. OHGIE 11,000 or above, but let's just make that 11,000 and not above. Alright, so OHGIE Glover Otaxa SARUKU. OHGIE Glover Otaxa SARUKU. And then, what does this tell us, SARUKU? What is next? Tenbo. So we'll come from SARUKU to Tenbo. It will take us to NODAP FU 450, and that should take us to the runway, I guess. So we do not have a glide slope. 2 a.m. to us. How are you doing, man? Welcome aboard.
This way, please.
So no clue how to fly this. This will probably be a some sort of like visual. We'll manage how we get there. In any case, what we can see now at least is we can join these two waypoints. So Tenbo, SARUKU, and this is the go around the purple or the dotted line there. So I'm guessing we will put the stop altitude of 1,500 feet when we are before our top of descent, and then we'll just hand fly the final approach. So NODAP is 4.5 nautical miles from the. I don't think they actually have a localizer either, do they? There is some like channel. I'm not familiar with how this works. But at least, I guess we can still say 4.5 nautical miles from the runway. So we'll just select our runway if you want to make it fixed there. I don't see our runway on here, man. Maybe it's because it's not an ILS. FU 450.
May I see your boarding pass?
Alright, we'll use FU 450 then for our fix. Then it was 4.5 nautical miles. And the runway 14, so the reciprocal will be 325. At 4.5 nautical miles. And at least we get some sort of idea of when we should start going nose down for the glide slope. And then that's also set one at 15, but I don't think we're probably well within that. So maybe let's go 10, 325. I mean, we don't need a second one necessarily. Fly 10. I guess it's okay. Alright.
Boarding pass, please.
Also check in with the boarding. That should wrap up momentarily. We got 173 out of 180 passengers, so that's looking good. So then we can get ready, so we'll push back nose to the left. So we get onto here, there's our runway. It's all very straightforward here. Alright, so just a little sanity check. We'll leave those lights on for a little bit longer. Packs are off, APU bleed is on. We'll need that to start our engine.
May I see your boarding pass, please?
220 and 150. And we are at 140, that's all right. So the before takeoff checklist would be flaps green light. We'll do a flap 5 takeoff, and the stabilizer trim was 4.83. We've set that here. That's the boarding completed. So let's get this baby going. Let's set our parking brake. And remove the chocks. Okay, thank you. So it's going to be nose to the left, tail to the right. Parking brake release. Thank you. Alright, let's start engine number 2. So are they going to make the turn? Sometimes GSX just pushes you back, but there it goes. Alright, let's start engine number 1. It's looking beautiful. Look at that. Very nice. Parking brake set.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Well, let's go to the main generators and turn off the APU. So the auto brake to RTO. Laps 5. Need to verify the takeoff speed. 144 Z1, rotate 146 Z2 150. Thank you. Okay, runway turn off lights, taxi lights. No smoking sign as well. We're going to wait for Ryuichi here to show us the bypass pin. Thank you. Alright, parking brake released, let's get out of here. Okay, so while the crew is going over the safety instructions of the passengers, Let's see if everything's set up. Let's turn on the TCAS system. We have LNAV, VNAV armed. So V1 is 144, rotate 146, V2 150. Let's go to Alpha 1. Turn on the landing lights. Position probe and steady. Cabin crew, prepare for takeoff. Alpha 1 coming up. Turn off the packs for takeoff. Hey, Captain Milan, how are you doing, man? It was just in time for the takeoff, so let's do a rolling takeoff. I think everything is set up. Good to hear, Captain. Alright, so here's our runway. Let's start the timer. And let's get going. And 1 to 50%. Stop here for a second, see what the warning there is about. Parking brake set. Don't know. Let's ignore it, like any responsible pilot would. Alright, take off thrust. Airspeed.
Easy knots. Ready to climb?
Gear up. Acceleration altitude 1500. Not sure what that master caution is about, man. Let's turn on the autopilot here. CMD and 1L nav VNAV speed. Flaps up. Right, for the after takeoff checklist. Engine bleeds on, PEX to auto. Engine bleeds on, PEX on auto. Landing gear up and off, flaps up, no lights. Landing gear up, off, flaps up, no lights. Lever is in the 0 position as well. After takeoff check is complete. So the center fuel tank is almost empty. Basically just filled with enough fuel for takeoff. So 14,000 feet will be our transition altitude. We got 526 nautical miles to the top of descent, 2209. That's almost in 2 hours. Excuse me, no. 20, what's this? 2209. Yeah, so 1 hour and 50 minutes. Let's see, is our right turn. Alpha 6, Romeo 11. 10,000 feet. So the nose will start to drop, but let's keep the passengers strapped in for this little turn here. We can turn off the landing lights. .16 and then turn 0.17. Hey, that's amazing. We're getting fuel while we're flying. What do you think about that? Alright, so settling a little bit. Let's set the passengers free. Ladies and gentlemen, follow flight deck. This is your captain speaking. Welcome on board flight 812 to Nagasaki. We've turned off the seatbelt sign, so please feel free to get up off your seat and walk around the cabin, do some dance moves if you want. If you want peanuts or anything, just go check with our cabin attendants. They will be gladly attending to your every need. We're looking at a flight time today of about 90 minutes. We'll be cruising at an altitude of 22,000 feet, which is about 6,700 meters above the surface of our blue little planet. On behalf of Nippon Airlines and the entire crew, thank you for your attention. Flight transition altitude coming up. 7 minutes into the flight. And we emptied out the center fuel tanks there. Let's turn off the center fuel pump. So here we are, very early morning flight. We could see the sun coming up while we were setting up the airplane. When we arrived at the airport, it was still dark. And then the sun came up, and it's now playfully hanging there above the horizon here in Japan. So passing transition altitude, standard pressure. Oh, it's getting laggy, man. What the hell? Please don't do that. So on our way to Ramba, 7 miles, speed 323, 18,000 feet. Right, cool. So we're still climbing. Level 201. Right, I'll be stepping off into the galley for a little bit. So I'll be right back. Let's have a little window view in the meantime. Keep the windows closed and do not feed the animals. Right, so here we are again. See if everything is still doing what it's supposed to be. We have some terrain there. We're cruising altitude, flight level 220. We're on our way to TEPEX. Right, so time 21:08. 1 hour to the top of descent. It's not going to be a very long flight. It's exactly what I wanted. This flight will actually just take us all across Japan. Well, let's go here. There you go. Still no arrival weather. It's quite peculiar. Here the weather report, 9 hours 9 minutes ago, 4 hours 3 minutes, and there's no way to. For the RNP, there was this, so instead of a localizer frequency, it has some channel. I'm not really sure how this works, but let's give it a shot. 79608. Error? Oh, it doesn't like it. Well, as I said, I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I believe you can set this somewhere. Anyone has any clues or the knowledge, feel free to let me know. And otherwise we'll just do a basically it's going to be a visual landing. Or visual approach. Yeah, no clue. It really looks like you could put it in here, 79608. Well, it doesn't like it. It's saying something like error probably, so. VUR, ILS, GLS. That's enough of that. thing away before I hurt someone. Now let's get back to the flight deck. Well, I got some nice visuals here. I like that we have the serial number on the window here. Okay, speed 0.75, fuel 6.7, the expected fuel upon landing will be 3.5, landing at 22:24, it's about 1 hour and 9 minutes. We have no clue what the weather will be at our destination airport today. Looks like we're going to hit some moisture here. Let's look at that. Alright, the final approach course, 146. Let's put that in. Also go to put it in the heading box just in case. It's a little bit premature, we still have like an hour to go. 146. Decision altitude, I believe, was 250. And I've been LPZ, so I'm not really sure which one applies to us. Let's just go for the highest, then 282. Looks like we may need to turn on some anti-icing. Wait too. Check the other side. RJFU 14. I'm curious, can we make that a 6? RJFU 14. Let's just try something. And I don't think we really need it anymore. We already set something up. Just curious if this is, it looks like a little bit Airbus style, really. No, it's invalid entry. It needs to have 5, I guess. Or simply invalid. Alright. So the missed approach was also on here, I believe. Please should be. SARUKU Tembo FU 450, that's our runway. 451. So if you have a missed approach, then you'll continue to FU 451 or Foxtrot uniform. Then a right turn would take you straight to, looks like Kono. Let's have a look here. Missed approach, direct to Foxtrot uniform 451, turn right direct to Kono, hold at 3000 feet, contact Nagasaki approach. We can also use VOR if you want. The VOR, it would mean, let's see, what is it? The Nagasaki VOR, Oscar Lima Echo. Climb via Oscar Lima Echo VOR radio 142 to 5.4 nautical miles. Turn right direct to Oscar Lima Echo VOR. And then there's a radio 303 to Kono. Then holding at 3000 feet. Transition level 14,000. We can see here 3000 as well at Kono. And that is a hold. So I guess sometimes the sun rises just to be obscured by the clouds. But like with anything, there's always a change in perspective when you look at the clouds from this side here. See, there's still some sunlight hitting them. It's not looking bad at all. Let's see if we can get out of the sand winds. $22.08. Alright, so I believe we're pretty much at sea level there at Nagasaki. I believe it was 14 and 18 feet. You're 14 and 8. So in any case, this means 0 on this dial because it only has increments of 50. So time 21:26. It's about 40 minutes to the top of descent. Let's just get back to the flight deck, see if we didn't notch off the autopilot by any chance. No, we didn't. That's still going. Alright, here we are again. See if everything still okay on the flight deck. PMD, FMC speed L19F past. Flight level 220. Time is 21:33, so it's about 35 minutes to the top of descent. So the altitude that we'll put in the window, I believe, was 3,000 feet. It doesn't really say on here because it does not really have it doesn't have a ILS glide slope in that sense, but it's not only 1,500, not 3,000, so 1,500 feet at no depth. And that's where we'll start our 3-degree downslope. Situated quite interestingly, look at that. It's just a little strip there, and for the rest it's just little islands. Very interesting. Now in terms of the weather, 4 hours, look, there's a weather report 25 minutes ago, but there's no direction variable and it's only 2 knots, but it could mean that we could actually do a ILS landing on runway 32. So what you could maybe consider is to copy our active flight plan. And where is that? Route. So we're now at the active route. Click route once more and you get to the main page of the route. If I'm not mistaken here, I'm talking out of my ass. Let me be a little bit confused here for a little bit. As far as I know, you go to routes and you can copy the active. We do not have a secondary waypoint flight plan page, just like you have in the Phoenix A320, for instance. That's not it. Index. Okay, so I'm making promises, over-promising and under-delivering. I don't know, I thought you just go to the route page and you click it once more, and then you should have like the option to copy the active flight plan. And for some reason, I don't know, is it different in the 737-800 then? Or am I just going senile? And what does it say flight plan request? What happens if we do that? Well, let's not do this. Let's go to set our fuel back to 8.9. It's going to be horrible. So return. we loaded the current winds. Wait. Alright. Let's have a look here. We have about 30 minutes before we start our descent anyway. But at least we have some weather report here. So it's only 2 knots, so I'm thinking maybe we could actually land in the opposite direction. We could make use of the ILS. This would make our life a lot easier. So what if we change departure arrival? We'll just do it through here. So ILS Zulu 32. Let's go flights. We change our runway. 32. Tetra 8 via ENPAR. Wait, this is departure. Let's see, runway 32, SARUKU via OHGIE. So that looks like it didn't change. So we'll be coming from OHGIE, so instead of going Glover, Otaxa, Saruk, we'll go Paddy, Tara, Takak, Obama. I know, Fabki. Let's do that. It's going to change everything. Let's do 32, Saruku, and execute. Now we got the runway 32 in there. We'll have a look at that in a little bit. So after Saruk, Fabki. So we'll not be flying to Saruk, I would think. Not sure if I'm doing this wrong or if, well, that's the biggest chance, obviously, but OHGIE Glover Otaxa. Fabki Chara. There it goes, now it changes. Drop of descent is now 1 minute late. And I think this probably solves our problem here on the legs page, yes? No, still taking us OHGIE Glover Otaxa. Oh shit. My apologies, I do this sometimes. OHGIE Glover, so just get Glover Otaxa and Saruk out of there. Actually, OHGIE stays in there, Glover, Otaxa, Saruk. Glover, Otaxa, oh wait. Delete Otaxa and delete Saruk. So OHGIE Fabki. I don't know where Fabki is, that's all the way over there, okay. So we'll need to insert some waypoints there as well. So after OHGIE we'll have Pat. And then Tara. Oh shit. It just, oh my god, it just jumps. I have to do this all again. Okay, so delete Glover. Otaksa. So we just flew over the waypoint, and then so the order here switches just before I click a button, so SARUKU can go as well. So after OHGIE, we'll have Paddy. After Paddy, we'll get Tara. I'm guessing it's this one, we'll see that in a little bit. And after Tara we got Takak. And then Obama. I know. And then Fabki. Execute. Let's have a look at the damage that we caused. Flight plan. It's still looking good. So OHGIE, Paddy, Tara, Takak, Obama, I know. And what is that thing called? Fabki. Alright, that's looking nice. Let's get rid of these range rings because they are based on the opposite runway. So for that we'll just go to the fixed page. I think we can just go delete. There we go. Then to set up a new fix for the new runway, runway 32. Let's get the final approach chart here first. Runway 32 ILS Zulu, let's put a little pin in that one. So glide slope will start at Chara, 8 nautical miles from India Oscar Lima. And that's our runway identifier. So 8 miles. And then the reciprocal will be 145. So 145 degrees at 8 miles. We'll also do 145 degrees at 15 miles. Just for a little extra buffer there. So we got these two range rings created now. So this first one here, the inner one, this is exactly the point where the glide slope will start, and then 15 miles just for a little bit of situational awareness. Alright? So that should work out fine. So we got set up. Have to do all the other things as well. In our case now we have to enter the ILS frequency 110.9. Actually let's put this on ILS 110.9. Oh, that's not buying it. Come on, man. It's not having it. How do we get the decimal back there, then? Just typing as if it's the, as if it's this one, the GLS thingy. And no clue, man. So so doesn't like us switching it around when it's empty. That would make sense. It says here that you can enter a VOR, but obviously it's the same difference. There's no decimal there. So when there's nothing and you will switch it. This is so annoying, man. This is the radio. Can we bypass this one or maybe? What's the time? I think we still have time. Yeah, we do. So PMDG setup, and then I think aircraft equipment. FMS2, what's on another FMS2? Instruments. Nav radio panels, classic or MMR. So if we just switch it around for a second, hopefully that sort of resets in a way. To 110.9, I believe actually that was it. 110.9. There you go. And that is in. The final approach course 325. So we got the ILS frequency, 110.9, 325, and 2,600 feet at Cara. So that will be the altitude in the window. I think we can set that now. The top of descent, go menu, FMC. 2208, 123 nautical miles. So let's dial this to 2,600. And finally, decision altitude, let's go for 200 feet. So we had 282. Feet. One more, there you go, 200 feet. Alright, the fuel 4.5. Flat 30 landing is speed 148. Let's just pre-dial that or preset it for now. It's probably going to change by one more knot. So expected to touch down 22.25. 22.08 is on top of descent. That's in about 15 minutes or so. Alright, so we just set up for the runway 32. Now let's have a look at the airport diagram. So the runway 32, so we'll vacate to the right, probably around Tango 5 or Tango 6. And we'll just backtrack basically to the terminal area there. Airport elevation 15 and the runway length is 9,843 feet. At least we got some weather reports. So what else are they saying? So the wind's variable to the 2 knots, visibility 10 kilometers or more, fuel clouds at 2,500, broken at 6,000 feet. The temperature is 26 degrees centigrade, and we have QNH 1011. The airport elevation 15, so we can leave that at 0 like it is now. Right, cool, so we're set up actually for runway 32. So now just 15 more minutes and then we'll start our descent. And then let's get this baby to Nagasaki. So 148 plus 5 should be 153. So that should be in here as well. 153. FOBKEY 181. Let's make OHGIE exactly 11,000 feet again. Recalculating the top of descent. That is hardly affected. So that's good news. Let's aim for 2,600 exactly at FOBKEY if we can. Come on, 0. You can do it. There you go, that's a happy 0. So 11 more minutes until we start descending. We're now 1 hour, 6 minutes into the flight. We got our decision altitude, 200 feet, VLF speed, 148, the ILS frequency and the runway, the final approach course, 325 degrees. We also set the course in the course boxes on both the first officer and the captain's side. Fuel currently 4.2, expected 3.3 at touchdown. One 148 hasn't changed, but that might still change by one more mile. I'm definitely getting closer here. What's a really nice feature with the Boeing is that you can, when you're flying in vertical navigation, and you're basically holding the cruising altitude to 22,000 feet, so it's not going anywhere. And then you just set the altitude window to a lower altitude than what you're at, and then the moment you overfly the top of descent there, the T/D, it will automatically start descending, which is such a nice feature. Right, so 9 more minutes. This camera is way too much fun, man. Here's our eyebrow window. Alright. 22:01, 7 more minutes. So if we check our descent checklist, pressurization should be landing altitude. That's 0. Recall. Checked with, got the master caution throughout the entire flight, I don't know why. There's nothing on here. But yeah, let's just take that as it is, I guess. Auto brake. Let's go for auto brake 2 today. Landing data VREF and minimum, so we have that. And we will keep on updating the VREF speed, which will maybe change by 1 knot. But we have our minimums, 200 in radio, 148 for the VREF speed. We got our landing data up here. Let's check the QNH. 1011. So that's not too far off. So we have that as well. Then approach briefing has been completed as well. So basically our descent checklist is already complete. And as I said, we'll start descending automatically in about 5 minutes. That's 3 more minutes. 25 miles. I think it's about time we start descending. 2207. 8.3 nautical miles. And then we'll get going. Engines are spooling down. Let me start recording the sky dolly, and then we can have a landing replay later. Right, so we should be about here. 2.5 miles to go. Let's see if there's a weather update maybe. That is. So now we actually do have 150 degrees at 4 knots, so we're gonna do a tailwind landing. Would be nice if there was an 8, because sometimes actually they make you do tailwind landings if it's not too heavy. Nope. So here's our descent. Well, this can hardly miss, can it? Okay. We'll deviating a little bit high. 60 feet, nothing too crazy. Let's get the speed brakes out for a moment. That was definitely helping. Speed brake retracted. So we did indeed go down 1 knot, 147 knots at 30 degrees of flaps. So we'll set that there. 147 should give us 152 on the legs page. And just to double check. Right, so the time 22:11. Touchdown 22:26. Let's turn on the seatbelt sign. Alright, so let's do the cabin announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. As you may have noticed, we have started our descent to Nagasaki Airport, so please return to your seats now. Make sure that your seatbelts are securely fastened. The cabin crew will, in a moment, will come and check if everybody's seatbelt is tightened correctly. We expect to arrive at our destination in approximately 15 minutes. The local weather, the local temperature will be 26 degrees centigrade. There will be a mild breeze, there will be some clouds. We're expecting a smooth touchdown on behalf of the SARUKU and all Nippon Airlines. Thank you very much for your attention. Alright, so 14,000, we're passing transition altitude. So QNH 1011 places us a little bit low, but we're going to keep on going like this. Let's also start up our APU. Now that they're flying through these clouds, I'm realizing I never turned off the anti-ice, so that it's still on. So we were aiming for 11,000 feet exactly at OHGIE, so that's working out nicely for us. Our speed should be 268, and we are still decelerating a little bit. Here is OHGIE. Then up next, Paddy, speed 240, 9464. So we keep on descending. We're almost at 10,000 feet. Let's turn on the landing lights. Put the engine start switches to continuous relight. So approach Checklist completed to set the altimeter. So then we have landing checklist, engine start switches, continuous relight, speed brake should be armed. We'll do this on when we're on localizer, landing gear down, and then flaps green light. So our flap setting will be 30 degrees. I think a little bit high there. Let's assist with a little bit of speed brakes. Getting a lot higher here, but that's changing. That's good, but we're still a little bit high. Speed 242, aiming 240. Speed brake retracted. .2217. So that's 9 more minutes before touchdown. Nice, we're getting some rain. And some civilization. To the airport to our right now, and we're actually picking up India Oscar Lima. India Oscar Lima, that's our ILS, or our localizer. For 50 nautical miles in a straight line from the airport. Look, we got a little rainbow going on here. There's definitely some terrain here. So we're now within the 50 nautical mile ring. It's all looking good. A little bit high, a little bit fast. Speed brakes. Speed brake retracted. Let's go penetrate some more clouds, shall we? Alright, let's also turn on the runway turn-off lights and the taxi lights. Get the speed brakes out. We got 1012 on the QNH. So keep the speed brakes extended for a little bit longer. Let's arm the localizer. Localizer is armed. Speed brake retracted. Actually, we should be going 163, so let's get some more speed brakes. Or maybe go flaps 1. Localizer capture. Speed brake retracted. Flap 2. Arm the approach. Arm the speed brake. Flap 5, glide slope capture. Right now to come out, let's drop the gear, get a little bit more drag. Cabin crew, take your seats for landing. Flaps 15. There's our runway. Final approach speed, 152, flaps 30. So engine start switch on a continuous relight, speed brake is armed, landing gear is down, flaps down, green light, landing checklist complete.
1,000.
Alright, 1,000 feet, let's turn off the autopilot. So we can expect a little bit of a tailwind, so let's see how this is going to happen.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Continue.
$100. 50. 30.
Idle.
20.
Fire.
10.
Touchdown. Walks to Nagasaki, everybody. Full reverse. Fix your locks, engines to idle, flaps up, keep braking, lead factor. Alright, that's runway vacated. But that wasn't too bad. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, your captain speaking. Welcome to Nagasaki. We hope you enjoyed your flight. Please remain seated, and the aircraft has come to a full, complete stop, and the seatbelt sign has been extinguished. On behalf of the entire crew and all Nippon Airlines, thank you for your attention. Thank you for flying with us, and hopefully see you next time. Engines to idle. Let's reduce the speed, ground speed to around 15 knots before we start taking the left turn here. I'll take it. Alright, so we'll stop. Parking brake set. So made it in one piece to Nagasaki. For the early morning flight from Tokyo. And here she is, the 757-800 by PMDG. Beautiful airplane. Alright, man. Thank you everybody for checking. Everybody stay funky, keep your loved ones close. And I will see you at the next video. Bye bye.